Hey, welcome to my channel, Running in Rehab. My name is Brett. I'm a third-year physical therapy student and a marathoner. I just want to talk about physical therapy today and what I've learned in my 3 years of physical therapy school that I'm going to try to simplify and just concise the biggest piece of information that I've learned that can help you stay out of pain, treat pain, stay out of pain, and develop habits that will keep you pain free and help with your longevity throughout life in terms of your musculoskeletal longevity. So, the biggest thing to consider, right? Because everybody's different, but consider your occupation. So, what is it that you do? First, we're going to start with somebody who is sitting for most of the day. And ironically enough, for physical therapy school, you do a lot of sitting, sitting in class, sitting studying, sitting doing homework, sitting taking exams. So as you can see, as I am now, like my head is forward, my shoulders are rounded, the kyphosis or the outward curve of the upper back here is increased. So I'm hunched over, right? Kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You can picture that guy. But if you're noticing this kind of posture, the simplest way that I can tell you to fix that is just do the opposite motions to bring you back into a neutral spinal alignment. And so the opposite motions of forward head would be a chin tuck coming back. For the shoulder blades, for the shoulder joint, a little bit of external rotation, like your no money exercise. Side lying external rotation is a really good one to get the external rotators of the shoulder, so your rotator cuff, to bring your shoulder back into neutral alignment. And then some thoracic mobility, okay, so over a foam roller, just kind of mobilizing that thoracic spine, right? A little bit of gentle stretches go a long way, but try to do just gentle thoracic mobility, thoracic extensions over a foam roller. So picture I'm laying down on a foam roller, kind of moving up and down the thoracic spine with the foam roller and kind of doing it that way. And then once you increase your mobility, you want to strengthen that to try to sustain that new neutral position. So with the increase in thoracic kyphosis, typically the lower traps. So the lower traps are what you're going to want to strengthen. So exercises on your stomach and just kind of doing like a Y position on your stomach, just to do some lower trap strengthening that will help to keep you upright and help to prevent pain. Super important, because if you're in this position all day, you're at increased risk of like a vertebral fracture, right? The bones of the spine can actually either fuse together, disc can protrude outward, right? You can run into disc issues. Arthritic changes are more likely to develop in poor postures like that. And if you're not aware of it, you're going to be moving like this all the time. And like I said, that's going to increase the risk of arthritis and pain. So try to, not that you have to be, this is the biggest point I want to get across, because a lot of times people are like, oh, do I have to move like a robot all day? And it's no, you don't have to move like a robot all day, but you do need to remind your body of what neutral position feels like, looks like, and make sure that you can move in that neutral position. So what do I mean by that? So for my neck, I would want to make sure that I can kind of rotate in a neutral position, because this is going to remind my cervical spine, my nervous system, right? All the nerves and everything, that this is what it feels like to move in an optimal position. Optimal for the joints. And I only have to do like a few of these a day, right? I'm kind of tucking my chin back, doing just a gentle rotation. I only have to do a few of these a day to activate the muscles, right? Because now I'm getting these deep cervical flexors activated. right? And getting everything working in unison, all the muscles working how they're supposed to. Because if I don't do that, these muscles will just go dormant, right? They'll turn off. I'll forget how to use them. And in a few years, physical therapists can predict that who is going to have issues down the line just by looking at somebody's posture, the way that they move, the way that they're postured. And this is just all upper body stuff, but we can tell if you're here, you're going to run into a shoulder issue or a thoracic spine or a cervical spine issue. We know that. So PTs, you should really be going to see them for preventative care, so you can prevent these kinds of things. Okay, but again, just kind of, it's great for the joints to move in optimal alignment, and again, it's great for the muscles to be reminded of where there's, and you'll notice, like, I'm kind of having a hard time going this way to keep it optimal, to keep it perfectly aligned as I'm rotating. So what do I mean by perfectly aligned? Picture an axis going through the top of my head, and I'm perfectly rotating along that axis. And you may notice, like, you may like dump a little bit, and it might be tough for you to move perfectly, but just train it. And not only is this going to retrain the nervous system, but it's also going to stretch and strengthen muscles that need to be stretched or strengthened to move in that perfect alignment. All right. It's going to stretch the nerves, the muscles. It's going to activate the muscles that are supposed to be firing. So again, you don't have to I don't have to rotate my head like that perfectly all the time. But if I just do that once or twice throughout the day, it's going to loosen up muscles that need to be loosened up. It's going to activate muscles that need to be activated. It's going to floss and mobilize the nerves that need to be flossed and mobilized. But if I don't ever do that throughout the day, I'm not going to be able to get into that position because I'm not going to have the deeper layer muscles turned on that stabilize in that movement that we're supposed to be doing. I'm not going to have the range of motion. I'm not going to have the strength if I don't actively practice getting into that range of motion, okay, in that neutral position. And that goes for all joints of the body. All joints of the body love optimal movement. Joints are able to heal that way. Synovial fluid's able to flow and heal that way, and blood supply is able to get there. Muscles and nerves are able to kind of operate as they should, as they were intended to. So this video is all about pursuing optimal movements. And if you have any questions about what is optimal movement, what is optimal gait, just reach out to me directly. We can go through that. But if you want to increase your longevity in life and avoid aches and pains, as I recommend you should, because it's easier to prevent an injury, way easier to prevent an injury than to treat an injury. So be proactive and prevent these kinds of issues. But I've seen too many people, especially nowadays, with that are going to run into these issues due to their posture. So posture, not that you have to have perfect posture all day, okay? You don't got to be standing there like a soldier all day. But pursuing optimal movements of joints is the best thing that you can do for them. Pain-free movement, neutral alignment, letting the joints glide and move as they were intended to. If we're out here, remember, this is not going to be optimal movement. It's going to be more shearing of the joint, and again, could lead to arthritic changes earlier in life. Could lead to pain and nerves getting crunched. So address your posture and reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to help you. I will continue to spread this message, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Be well, be healthy. See you next time.